Part 2 first half. Wow. It reminds me of Attack on Titan part of... What was it? Attack on Titan finale. Part 1 of 4. I saw Charlie and I thought you were talking about the theory.
Hello, Internet.
To
Welcome to Game
No,
Theory.
I
We
think
may
we're
not
far
have
off.
made FNAF, but I like to think we've at least made it a bit more interesting. So in part 1 of this long-awaited all questions answered
Yeah, but this is like
FNAF
part 2
theory,
and this is
we
the
covered
first
everything
half,
from
so
the
this is part
origins
2,
of the
part
shadow
1.
animatronics to the reason for Golden Freddy's
The last
ghostly behavior.
season
to
final
proof of
part,
what
part 1
suit
out of
the killer
47. That is
uses.
so
We
true.
clarified the timeline and even went so far as to dispel the myth that the killer is the one shoving the bodies into the suits. Click here if you missed it to get caught up. Don't worry,
We already did get caught up. MatPat, let's
but
just
today we're
buckle up
covering
and go
the
back
major
in.
questions from the franchise, the final bits of the
wrecking ball?
timeline, the ending of the game, and most importantly of all, the identity of the purple guy. So enough intro, let's cut to the chase.
You can
When we
1v1
left things
me
off,
through.
there had been
That's
another
what I
round of
could.
murder done
I could
in
technically
Fazbear
just
Pizza.
decommission them
Purple
by
guy
my own
had once
hands,
again
and
used
I would
a golden
never have been
Bonnie
murdered.
suit to lure in another
Granted,
set of
no one
5
can
kids
murder
and
me.
kill them,
I
as
am
depicted in
amazing.
the Save
I'm
Them
too
minigame
strong
from
for anyone
FNAF
to
2. The place
pry
gets
into
closed
that.
for investigation a few days later, but the one thing that practically everyone overlooks in this location is that it gets reopened. In FNAF 2, the Night 1 phone call
Yeah, it did get
welcomes you to
reopened,
your
didn't
new
it?
summer job at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
The second one.
Hello and welcome to your new summer job at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Yeah, I think that's
Summer
when he
job.
knew
And
that like
yet,
it's mostly
the paycheck at the
pre-recorded.
end of the week reads November. There is not a single place in the world where November is a summer month. Not one. Meaning that these tapes,
winter?
all
Okay.
these
I think I just
tapes
saw
are
winter,
pre-recorded. And honestly, that
just
shouldn't be a
under.
surprise. Phone Guy's calls are recordings in every
This
game.
makes me reminisce
in
back when-
FNAF
oh, yeah.
1, before
Small
Phone
company
Guy
sponsoring
dies,
YouTubers.
he says he's glad
Yeah.
he recorded these
I
messages
like
when he
it
did.
when the sponsorships are literally in the video rather than being shoved into your face.
And then in FNAF 3, they find
Because
the old
I
training
would
tapes
not
the
be
Phone
inclined
Guy
to
made.
skip it because I would be like, oh, it's okay. They did this and it's already in the video. I'll just let it play. Yeah.
In short,
Supporting
all
the
of Phone
creator,
Guy's
all that
messages
stuff.
are unstuck in time, not
to learning.
recorded
Look,
anytime near your
Wells!
tenure as security guard. That includes the ones in FNAF 2 talking about children
The map
going
areas
missing.
are
The
really,
pizzeria
like,
isn't
really
being
diverse
shut
in
down
this
for an investigation
Like,
of
all-
some
like,
missing
in-
children
like, in
the
all
week
of
you
all
happen to be
videos. Hello,
working
Isaac.
there. You're listening to old tapes meant for the night security guard from months ago. Need more proof? Night 6's call references a birthday party happening as the last event before the building closes. But what decorations do we see put up throughout the building for the entirety of the week you're working there? Happy birthday banners. Confusing? You betcha. Game-changing? Absolutely. This means that both Jeremy and Fritz, the characters you play as throughout FNAF 2, aren't the killer purple guy at all. They were both working
Not Jeremy,
in
not
November
Fritz.
after the yellow suit investigation and the killer
You
getting
gotta
caught.
remember,
Which
like, I
brings
think the
us to the
Tombstones
other
and
key point
Pizzeria
in the
Simulator that there was,
timeline,
like,
the bite
Jeremy
of
and Fritz,
87.
and I think
Ever since
MatPat
we
was
heard
just
about
like,
this mysterious
are they the
low
security
people on that
guards?
first
No,
fateful
they're
night at
the
Freddy's, we've wanted
animatronics.
to know
They're the
more about
they're the
this bizarre
kids.
attack, the
They
one that ends
would-
up resulting in animatronics no longer being allowed
He's
to
literally
walk
losing his
around
mind.
during the day. But now, 3 games in,
This is like
we do
slowly
know
watching
more.
a man
We know it took
lose
place
his
in the
mind.
location of FNAF 2 based on the 1987 date on Jeremy's paycheck. And furthermore, the newspaper
my God, it's
clipping
the
that
bite of
ends
87.
FNAF 2 gives us a clue that it's
Really
the
made a
bite
deep
which
research
closes
aspect.
this
I mean,
version
yeah.
of the restaurant.
They're,
not
like,
some serial
if you're
killing.
theorizing on
Quote,
something,
after being
every
open a few
detail
short
is
weeks, the
literally
restaurant is closing its doors. The
And I think
article
he
says,
mastered
with the new
that-
animatronics
mastered
being
that, like, way,
scrapped
way
for
long.
possible malfunction. That's game designer Scott Cawthon telling us that one
Scott
of
is
the new toy
amazing.
animatronics
Scott is
bit
just
someone during
big
the day.
brain.
Why else would the new robots be
Maybe-
scrapped? while
maybe
the
even,
old
like,
ones
trying
get
to,
kept
like-
for possible reorganization?
Whenever, like, MatPat
Well,
creates a theory, he
outside
probably
of
just
an
gets in and
obvious
be like,
need to
ooh,
retcon why these new
you
robots
gave me
didn't
a lore?
appear in
Okay,
5.1.
I'm gonna
It's
get
because
that
the
and
company
fuck it
considered
up
them
to make you
safer,
confused.
relatively speaking. So, then
Like the
who's
gremlin,
the biter? Well, it's none other than the
gremlin
pile of
he is,
scraps and
the big
parts,
brain gremlin
Mangle.
that he
The
is.
most obvious clue is the animatronic's unhinged jaw. The frontal lobe
Why is
the biggest
Mangle
part of the
even-
human brain, and the size and
Why is
shape
Mangle
of the
even
other
a
toy robots'
animatronic? I just
mouths
don't understand.
wouldn't be able to handle the size of the human head, especially when you compare it to the Mangle's narrow snout and wide open mouth. There's also Mangle's sharper teeth and potential angle of attack. As shown by its jump scare, Mangle goes for the top of the head. And who got bit? Well, there isn't enough evidence to say definitively, but your most likely candidate would be fan favorite Jeremy Fitzgerald. Jeremy passes the test, and on his paycheck at the end of the week, he's welcomed into the family, presumably getting moved to day shift. Fritz gets hired to replace him on day 7.
Yeah,
but then
I mean, he has a
gets
theater
fired for
like
tampering
major
with the
animatronics.
animatronics. That means he's not likely the one to get bit, and instead the
he
person
would go above
who
and
follows
beyond.
him on day shift is, leaving Jeremy as the most likely frontal lobeless candidate. But regardless of whether it's Jeremy or some other customer
the bite of
we've never
87
met, someone
wasn't
gets bit,
Jeremy.
the restaurant closes for good, and
It was
as
never
the newspaper
Jeremy.
clippings show, the old animatronics go into storage to a smaller location with a lower budget.
Oh boy,
Fast
can't wait.
forward to the 90s.
Can't wait for
and
MatPat to
FNAF
slowly
1.
lose
We know
his
it's
mind.
the 90s based on the hourly
I
rate
should
of the
probably
paycheck
rename the
received
stream
by
to,
Mike
like,
Schmidt,
watching
security guard
MatPat slowly
extraordinaire
lose
from
his
the
mind
first
by
game,
FNAF
something we
theories.
proved in our first Five Nights video. And now we can breathe a sigh of relief, because this was the beautiful time long
beach.
ago,
Also, gorgeous
last
Game Boy.
August, when the games
Wow.
weren't so complicated, when the biggest
Good morning,
mysteries
hi,
were a
hello,
game-crashing
welcome.
gold
We're
bear
currently
and the words,
watching
"It's me."
FNAF
No death
reacting.
minigames, no puppets,
reacting
no need to shoehorn
from
in
this
extra
nostalgia.
overcomplicated storylines. That all would come later
Well, it's
when the
really nice
first
for
game
me,
became a
but yeah. Good
smash
morning.
hit and
Hello,
got
hello,
itself
hello.
some sequels. And boy, did those sequels make things complicated, as both featured 8-bit minigames revealing more details about this location
Honestly, the
from
8-bit
the original
minigames,
game.
like,
First things
literally
first, we know
made
that the
the
purple
lore,
guy
like,
kills
much
5
better.
children here.
Not
We
only
see
was
in
it,
the
like,
Foxy
unsettling and
Go Go
creepy
Go
and
minigame
something
from
no
FNAF
one,
2.
like,
Foxy
usually,
runs past a
plays
grinning
anymore.
purple guy to
It's
see 5
definitely
dead bodies.
a
Sorry,
really fitting
no
way
fireworks this time,
to, like,
Foxy. And how do we know
put it
it's the
into the game.
FNAF 1 location? Well, it's the only time in the game when Foxy's stage, Pirate Cove, is located to the west
Out
of
of
a
order.
dining area. See how he performs for the children by running to the right? That matches the map layout of the FNAF 1 pizzeria. We also know from the FNAF 3 minigames that this is where the purple guy dies inside a golden Springlock Bonnie suit in a safe room near the back. One built so that it would never show up
Mangle
on
was
camera, conveniently
originally
explaining
this
why it
boy
never
Foxy
appeared in the
to be
first
more
game.
kid-friendly,
But
but kids
hold
kept pulling
on, weren't those
hard to
safe
the point
rooms
that
sealed up a
the
long
engineers just
time
gave
ago?
up.
I mean, we touched on this last episode, but the old recordings of Phone Guy we listened
And
to throughout
kids
FNAF
are-
3 say
kids
that these
are-
rooms
okay,
are being
kids are-
closed off,
yeah.
discontinued,
great.
and will never be
Kids are never
mentioned
great.
again. Why would a location 20 years later possess a safe room unless it was the same building as the first Freddy Fazbear's
Oh!
Pizza location? That's why it's in such disrepair when we see it in the FNAF 3 minigames, boarded up with rats on the floor. It's been
That would make
closed
sense.
down for years,
That would make
which
sense.
also means the dead kids from the Foxy Go 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 minigame aren't another set of new victims, because seriously, at this point, the killer would have made his way through like a short bus full of pizza-hungry children. No, those kids are the first
Imagine
5
being in a
dead
bus,
kids, the
you're a
ones
kid,
who would
and
eventually
out of
possess
nowhere, some
Old
purple
Bonnie,
guy with,
Chica,
like, a
Freddy,
screw
Foxy,
just goes
and
in the
Golden
bus and is
Freddy.
like,
I mean,
"Alright,
look, if the animatronics
time
were
to
possessed
clean
at
up."
this point, don't you think Foxy would be attacking Purple Guy
Oh my
rather
god, even
than
the bus
just
driver
running
was
past
probably
him to perform
suited,
for some
you know what
dead
I'm saying?
kids? This also explains the random cutscene from FNAF 2 where the puppet's looking into Freddy's eyes. You can tell by the tables in the background and the design of
That
both
is
Bonnie and
creepy.
Chica that this is the FNAF 1 location with the old animatronics on stage. But it's not a flash forward to the game's next location, but rather a flash back to the moment the puppet brought these characters, these children, to life. Okay,
Giving
but that's
gifts,
just
giving
tying together
life.
some loose ends in the story. We're interested in how
There
this
is no
whole
loose
thing
ends, what do you
ends, and
mean?
those FNAF 3 minigames give us
Oh
the
my god,
conclusion
you
we're
thought-
looking for.
you
These
thought,
flashback
MatPat,
minigames
you
show
thought
Purple
there
Guy
was loose
dismantling the
ends. There was
animatronics
never
from the
loose
security of the
ends.
safe
This
room
was never
one
loose
by
ends,
one.
oh
But
my
in
God.
doing so, he's unwittingly releasing the spirits of his former victims. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Golden Freddy. When their powers combine, they are able to scare Purple Guy into the Golden Bonnie Springlock suit, which fails, crushes him pretty much to the point of death, though notice we never actually see him die, and the spirits fade
Yeah,
away.
he just,
Golden Bonnie
bled.
with Purple Guy inside, now
Bled.
known as Springtrap,
And
rots
bled.
away in the safe room for years
Lots
until
of
he's
blood.
finally uncovered by the founders of Fazbear's Fright from the third game. With the discovery of Springtrap, this haunted house attraction inspired by the years of mystery and murder of the pizzeria chain, finally has their first real
I wonder how
animatronic,
his
who then
blood
haunts
would
the player
taste.
for 5 nights and a
taste
nightmare
as irony?
night until
Would
the
it
place
taste mostly like
burns
oil?
down due to faulty wiring.
like, a
The
lot of,
end.
like,
Take a
you know,
bow.
grain,
It's
oil,
finally
and
over.
just a lot
Well,
of
kinda.
disrepair
We're still left
from
with
the-
one final,
from the
seemingly
warehouse- the warehouse
impossible
he's been
question
in
to
or something
answer.
like that.
Who is the purple guy?
Not that I'm a
After
vampire or
spending,
something.
I
I'm a
kid
goddess,
you
so,
not, full
yeah.
days plotting out all the details of this game franchise on whiteboards, talking it over with anyone who would stand to listen to
MatPat.
me ramble on
MatPat
and on
looking
about
sexy right there. Look at that.
fictional
Look at that.
haunted robots, and just looking
would
at
rock
it
a
from
skirt.
every possible angle, all logic points to it being
I forgot for suspense. Yeah. Next video.